Hello, wonderful Cancer, and welcome to May 2021, your astrological chat. May is looking very, very wonderful. There's a lot of, the first half of May looks very tranquil, very restful, very flowing, and productive as well. Now, the second half of May is where a lot of the action happens. And by action, I mean um, wonderful change. I think it's very welcome to have movement forward. Um, you know, April was very transformational, and I feel like this month is very transcendental, but with action, and sometimes people, they see action, they see squares, and um, they brace themselves. Which this year I feel like instead of bracing ourselves, I think we need to lean into the square action, the nudges that we're getting. It's actually a very important thing that we're moving forward from a year 2020 of feeling stuck, stuck in a rut, and it's very important for us to move forward in this time. Now, yes, I feel like April was very internal. There was a lot of internal transformation and changes. This month, there are some external factors. I feel like it's exciting. There are external movements towards growth. For a lot of us, it's like moving into dreams, moving into our realizing of important things in our lives. So, with that introduction, let's move into the month of May for you. And yeah, let's get into it. So, Cancer, starting your month off of May in 2021. On the 2nd of May, we have Mercury in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn. A very beneficial aspect from between your 11th house and your 7th house. Mercury in Taurus in your 11th house is trining Pluto and Capricorn in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So we have the planet of communication in that 11th house of friends and, larger groups of people and philanthropies and kind of, it's the house of gains as well. It's in there, Mercury's in there, and it's trining Pluto and Capricorn. So it's flowing your partnerships and your relationships, your one-to-one relationships. It's flowing and transforming them in a beautiful way in this aspect of great ease with a trine. So it's like a really nice breeze pulling you through with friends probably helping you in your relationship. With themes in your relationship, there is something that's transforming there in a wonderful way. Now, on the 2nd as well, Venus in Taurus is sextiling Neptune in Pisces. Venus in Taurus being in that 11th house of yours of gains and friends and large groups and organizations. And it's benefiting in a functional way your belief systems. Neptune in Pisces is in there, and it's doing it in a very dreamy, creative way, bringing your beliefs up to maybe par with the societal beliefs, and it's happening in a very easy way as well. And you're just gaining so much insight from friends, from all those things. Or it could be you informing friends as well and helping them to understand, gain higher insight as well. Now on May 3rd, we have at 10:49 p.m., Mercury is entering Gemini, and that's in your 12th house, in this pre-materialization house, this, some say Piscean, but this house of, it's kind of like the ether, like what comes, things that come into reality. It's also a very creative house, a very transcendental house. And yeah, so it's entering late on May 3rd. Earlier on May 3rd, Mercury is still in Taurus, and it's actually squaring Jupiter in Aquarius because they're all at this final degree of Aquarius. So earlier that day, you're working through something with your friends, large organizations, and which is your 11th house and your 8th house. Jupiter being in the 8th house, expanding 8th house themes, where there's a dialogue with your friends, with organizations, and also your internal world, where you transform traumas, where you are working with other people's resources as well, because the 8th house rules other people's resources. So this could be a little friction between large organizations and your resources from them, or it could be large organizations of friends. They're helping to, they're nudging you to realize that a deep transformation is happening for you in that house, in that 8th house of transformation. Transforming and growing stronger, and healing the traumas as well. So friends could be helping you with that. And then on the 3rd, again, the sun is in Taurus, squaring Saturn in Aquarius. So the sun, the vitality from friends and from, it could be online. It could be something you read online as well. The 11th house is social media. And it's nudging you, it's shaking you up to maybe change some structures in your, the way you see other people's resources, the way you see other people too, and transforming or helping you transform trauma, and making you very much stronger through that as well. And the fact that it goes into Mercury goes into your 12th house, it's almost like you're transcending, May 3rd, later in the day, you're feeling like you've resolved a little bit, you've gained more insight, and you've spiritualized these moments that you've had with friends or larger group organizations in healing the traumas, and your spirit is acknowledging it and resolving and moving you through. So on May 5th, 2 days later, at 1:13 a.m. Eastern time, a lot of these times that I'm giving you are Eastern times. Adjust for your time zone, where a lot of people are, that I know are in the West Coast, the Pacific time, so that's 3 hours less. So on May 5th, 1:13 a.m. Eastern time would be, I believe, 12, 11, 10. Sorry, counting backwards is very interesting for me. So I believe it's 10 p.m. May 4th. But yeah, so Jupiter's quintiling Uranus. And that's between your 8th and your 11th house. Again, these 8th and 11th house themes. Now the quintile is, it's kind of like a point of, it's not good or bad. It's like anxiety, but also excitement. So it can be like that feeling, that angst towards excitement to do something, to get something done. And that's Jupiter expanding in your 8th house, expanding something in aspect to your 11th house with friends and our higher organizations, philanthropies. So you want to move, you want to get like something moving there. You want to like work through a trauma, or like you want to maybe have your friends really want to help you, and they're helping you realize things that you need to work through, moments you've had in the past, or your friends can be helping you with resources, and you have to accept, but you may be hesitant. But it would be good. It would be a nice thing for any time that friends want to help you. Think it through and then work with them. So on the 6th, we have Venus in Taurus. This is a very beneficial aspect the day after. Venus in Taurus in your 11th house, trining Pluto and Capricorn in your 7th house. So again, accept for help from friends, because they're coming from a good place, and you see this on the 6th. So yeah, Venus is in that, coming from your friends, this loving, wonderful aspect. and they're really wanting to help you, and you're fine with it. Like by the 6th, there's a trine, a harmonious aspect to transformation for your relationships. And it could be transforming your personal one-on-one relationships as well as your partnership, and having a beneficial effect on that. Transformational and beneficial. Now on May 6th as well, we have at 1:33 p.m. Eastern Time, which is, I believe, 10:33 p.m. 10:33 a.m. May 6th Pacific Time. We have your North Node. We have the North Node, sextiling Chiron. So the North Node is like the node of destiny, they call it, and it's kind of like where you're heading in this world, the themes that you're heading towards. So there's this feeling of destiny in that 12th house, a spiritual house, a creative house. And it's helping heal a trauma, because Chiron is the wounded healer in astrology, and it represents healing of a trauma or something that you've worked through and that you've healed, and there could be something like a treasure trove there for you in that healing. Now, the North Node between your 12th and 11th house, 12th and 10th house, something in your spiritual walk and spiritual realizations and your creativity is building upon and helping you heal and move forward in your career, in your higher aspirations, in your legacy. And that's a beautiful thing, Cancer. Now, moving on to May 8th, at 4:51 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 1 a.m. Roughly 1:51 a.m. Pacific Time, we have Ceres, the asteroid Ceres, entering Taurus, and that's in your 11th house. Ceres is representative in astrology. This asteroid having to do with agriculture and bountiful, plentiful harvest as well. So there's like a nurturing sense here, and that's happening from your friends, from your any larger organizations you're connected to. Social media as well represents the 11th house, gaining from friends or help from friends. And this looks like really wonderful. You're getting a lot of help from that and nourishment. So on May 8th as well, at 10:01 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 p.m., I believe, Pacific Time, on May 8th, Venus is entering Gemini in your 12th house. So that 12th house is getting a lot of love from Venus, a lot of help, a lot of you're valuing your spiritual insights. There's a lot of value to be had and beauty there, as well as beauty in your creative notions. If you're doing something creative, you're getting a lot more aesthetic about it. You're getting a lot more aesthetic insight, or things are looking a lot more pleasant in your spiritual life as well, Cancer. So on the 11th, we have two things happening. One being Mars in Cancer, sextiling Uranus in Taurus, between your 1st and your 11th house. This is wonderful. This is a working beneficial aspect. Again, not working too hard. It's like putting a puzzle together, and you can already see the picture. So there's just act to receive. Mars in Cancer is nurturing action from yourself, from you. You're taking nurturing action towards your friends in a very new way, in a very revolutionary way. You're helping your friends. Maybe this is in gratitude to help they gave you in the past, or vice versa. But yeah, this is looking really good. You could be working for friends. You could be and gaining through friends as well. So this is really wonderful. And it's in line with the new moon in Taurus on that same day. Later, I don't know if it's later, but it's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 12 noon on May 11th. The new moon in Taurus is taking place in your 11th house. And again, this whole theme with larger organizations, friends, gainful aspects, resources, help from friends, Philanthropies, you're putting new seeds of intention there. You're making new plans with friends. You're making new plans with an organization or philanthropy. This is very beautiful, looking really good for you, Cancer. So on the 12th, another very harmonious, wonderful aspect. Mercury in Gemini is trining Saturn in Aquarius. That's between your 12th and your 8th house. So again, that inner world, that melting pot before materiality is really working well with your 8th house to transform you, to transform a trauma you've had recently or that you're having. But there's resolution here. There is almost like divine help, through communication, through some kind of divine communication helping you there. To restructure also that house of other people's resources, trauma, maybe you're rebuilding that trust with other people as well. So on May 13th at 6:36 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 3:36 p.m. Pacific Time, we have expansive Jupiter entering Pisces in your 9th house after a hiatus of about 10 years or so, maybe 10, 11 years. We haven't seen it since the beginning of 2010. So think back to that time. I mean, Jupiter is a very benefic planet. So you could also have had something great happening with your beliefs, with travel, with higher learning. This is very beneficial. Jupiter entering Pisces there. It's in its domicile. It's in a place that it loves. So expect, around that time, there could be some really free-flowing, nice energies. So on the 13th as well, 2 other beneficial aspects. So we have the Sun, vitality, in Taurus in your 11th house, and it's sextiling Neptune and Pisces in your 9th house. So, through friends, or maybe you're doing something fun with a group, things like that. And it's really helping to build upon, your healing and then your new beliefs in a dreamy way, in a dreamy, creative way. You have this vitality coming from friends, and you're dreaming up a new perception for life, And so, I'm sorry, a few days later, on the 17th, we have the Sun in Taurus, another sign of vitality. Trining, very beneficial, very easy to receive aspect to Pluto and Capricorn in your 7th. So again, your 11th house benefiting that 7th house of relationships. So you have friends, you have large organizations, groups, philanthropies, gainful resources from friends, and it's blessing your one-on-one relationships. Could be with your partner. That's really wonderful. Things are flowing in a good direction. Now on May 19th, we have at 3:12 p.m., which is 12:12 noon Pacific Time, 3:12 Eastern Time, 3:12 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a very playful Leo moon. And at that time, it's coming to a head. It's not a full moon, but it's at the 29th degree of Leo, which is very strong Leo energy. And that's happening in your 2nd house. So you're getting real fun, real creative with your own resources. It could be maybe you're investing in something, but it's also could just be you're buying something or something of value, something that's going to add to you. Beauty products could be, because Leo, just things like that. You're feeling that shine in your financial house. So on the same day, May 19th, we have Venus in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius. So Venus in Gemini is acting in that 12th house, and it's really in harmonization with Saturn in Aquarius in your 8th. So there's a restructuring there. There's a structuring there. There's structure being added to your 8th house. And I could say restructuring, because a lot of Cancers have gone through something. It hasn't always been easy, but in general, there's Venus there blessing the structures in that 8th house. So Venus from your spiritual life from your creative life, from your transcendental life. There's some aha, wonderful moment that's structuring your house of, you know, transformation, deeper ideas. You know, it's bringing light to dark areas, and it's structuring it for the better. Now, on May 20th at 3:37 p.m., we have the sun entering Gemini, and that's in your 12th house. So, so we have this vitality coming into your 12th house. So that spiritual house, that house of like depth and transcendence and creativity and you know, that beautiful watery house is receiving the vitality that it needs for this time. Now on the 21st, that sun, that bright vitality is wanting to take action. It's in a square with Jupiter and Pisces, so from your 12th to your 9th house. There's some actionable energy there nudging you. So your spiritual life, so to speak, is nudging your belief systems to expand. This is very expansive. You could be, I don't know, reading a book or something, meditating, and you have like a big realization where your perspective needs to shift, and maybe in compassion. These are 12th houses. Is that compassion. Jupiter and Pisces is that compassion. You know, or your beliefs are opening up in compassion and making your spirituality even grow even more. Now on the 22nd, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. So again, we have another planet in Gemini nudging those perceptions, you know, through illusory methods. Through Neptune is very like, could be through a television show, could be through art, communication there that's helping you grow spiritually and in your perception as well. And I say growth because it's not like a trine. It's not like, woo, you know, like this is fun, just easy going. Square is like, it's a nudge. It could be someone, you know, telling you something, and it's like, wow, I can't believe it's like an aha moment, but it's like, it's a pill. It's a pill to swallow. You know, it's kind of like, wow, like it's good for me, but it, you know, I needed some water to get it down. Anyway, it's good for you and it's wonderful. So on May 23rd, at 5:19 in the morning, very early, many people are probably asleep. That's Eastern time. Now, 5:19 Eastern time is once again 4:03 to 2:19 a.m. Pacific time. Again, many of you are asleep during that time, hopefully getting that necessary rest. And Saturn's going retrograde in your 8th house. So you're reviewing structural changes that you've been doing in that 8th house of deeper knowledge. It's very deep investigation within yourself. It's also other people's resources. You're reviewing your connections with other people, deeper connections, deeper psychology. You're reviewing your deeper psyche as well. And you're reviewing traumas that you've lived and worked through. And you're also working the kinks out in that. Like, so if you have a connection with people and, you know, resources, and you just need to fix a couple things in that relationship, it's going to help you review that, maybe bring people to your life, and it's going to smooth it out. So when Saturn goes direct again, it's going to like, it's like having a hose and then it has like a kink, and you work it out and then the water just flows all that much better. So the relationships get better. And, you know, any relation to an inner trauma, everything like goes smoother after that. So on May 26th, we have just 3 days later at 7:14 a.m., which is 4:14 a.m. Pacific time, 7:14 a.m. Eastern time. We have a full moon total lunar eclipse on May 26th. And that is that's happening in Sag, 5 degrees of Sag in your 6th house. So this is bringing things to a head. This is like a full moon on steroids. This is really bringing a lot of themes up with your health and your vitality and your day-to-day living. You're really seeing everything like some things need to end. Some things like you're like, I don't need this habit. I don't need this in my life. And you're introducing a new you. You're introducing new habits, new health routines, new you know, day-to-day activities. It could be a new job too. It could be like the ending of an old job and you're transitioning to something new that you've been wanting to do. And this is wonderful. Lunar eclipse could be emotional, just like anything, any big change could be very emotional. But those emotions, Cancers, you guys are not strangers to emotions, and that's wonderful because when they come, it's like it's not a big deal. So yeah, you guys could be transforming physically even with this too. Sometimes people experience weight loss and certain things like that because of the 6th house. It could happen with the 1st house as well. But yeah, this is looking really good for you guys. This is amazing. So on the 27th, we have Venus in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. This is between your 12th and your 9th house. So Venus in Gemini is, your values, your spiritual values, your spiritual or your creative, the love you're giving yourself creatively or through creativity, is at a point of action with your 9th house, the dreams you're having for your higher beliefs, your higher thoughts, your higher knowledge. So there's this dialogue saying like, where can my spirituality and my beliefs work together in a harmonious way? And with those benefics there, they are having a real nice chat with coffee, nudging each other, hey, get up, let's get up and work on this. Let's get up and widen our perspective to be more creative and more spiritual and get ready for things that are after the 12th house, which is usually moving on to you and how you will transform. So on the 29th, we have Mercury going retrograde at 6:34 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 3:34 p.m. Pacific Time. And, we've been in Mercury retrograde shadow. It's usually like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know. But you can kind of feel it coming on. But on this date, May 29th, at 6:34 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:34 p.m. Pacific Time, it's like you feel it. There's like a jolt of, I don't know. Sometimes people say someone comes back from like an old friend or something like that can come back, or like, I don't want to say an ex. This is happening in your 12th house. So it could be like a spiritual friend from your past, or a way that you used to see something spiritually is coming back to the forefront and you're reviewing it. So with this, there's a lot of review. There's a lot of moments of retrospect, and this is going to be very helpful for you, Cancer, because that 12th house is like when you move on from this, it's going to be like a new you. It's going to be like a whole new perspective on life, and that's really wonderful. So yes, Cancer. So this is your May, continuing with May 29th. Again, I'm really sorry for any background noise that has been going on. I'm trying to lessen it here. So yes, please pardon me as I conclude your month here. So on May 29th, again, with the theme of Mercury going retrograde in that 12th house, you're reviewing a lot of spiritual aspects of yourself, a very internal world, a very things where, the things that people don't see that you do, the unseen, you're reviewing it. You're going deep and saying, like, what needs review, what needs fixing, what needs to be regulated or revised and all this, and this is really nice. This is really good, especially because Mercury in Gemini going retrograde is conjunct Venus in Gemini, and Venus in Gemini is it's like a little helper. It's like a helping hand. It's giving you a lot of support in this retrograde. So I really see this retrograde being a lot smoother than other retrogrades. Yes, I'm not going to lie. There could be technical difficulties. There could be, you know, I, really review contracts and things like that, or I wouldn't necessarily purchase a new vehicle because of the contract and having to, Mercury rules the mind. So just to be really clear, but Mercury in Gemini is in its domicile, so this is good news. Because Mercury thinks a lot better, it works a lot better in its domicile, and even if it's retrograde, it has the tools necessary in its home to fix any kinks or anything that's going on. So if something does go haywire, I believe that it'll be resolved smoother than in other signs. Now, on the 31st, to end the month on a high note, we have Mars in Cancer, a nurturing action, in extreme beneficial aspect, a trine, trining Neptune and Pisces. This is between your first and your ninth house. This is like a big amount of confetti, what do they call those streamers in parties? But yeah, it's very beneficial, and it's at the end of the month. This is loving action from your first house, Cancer. Loving action. You could be, since it's in your first house, it could be a lot of energy. You've had a lot of energy to burn in nurturing ways, like you guys do, and it's very beneficial to Neptune and Pisces. Your beliefs, your dreams, your dreamy higher perspectives. You're taking action because of that, probably. You're probably thinking of things. Your mind is way more creative, way more happy, way more jovial, and I could see you taking a lot of inspired actions for this at the end of the month. So keep that going as we go into your wonderful season, Cancer, and I really hope to see you guys here in June. Please subscribe, like, and share, comment, all those good things, and really hope to see you in June, and just enjoy the warm-up of the season. Take some time, go to the beach, go into nature, and just enjoy. So I hope to see you guys again, just like I said, next month, and just have a beautiful month of May. Thank you so much.